Yep. Destination. I mean, we should look at our sales to see what you think, but we feel like we do a fair amount of nutrition. We get undercut big time by a bike shop in town that sells at cost.
Oh, just because?
Just to bring people in.
How long has the bike shop been there?
Well, it's been in town for about 30 years, but it's been that location for about 4-ish, 5.
Do they have a good service business, like a good repair?
Yeah. It's a good shop.
Okay. So they can do that for a long time. That's what I was
What do you
asking.
mean?
Well,
They can afford to do, is that what you're saying?
yeah, they can afford. If they have
Yeah.
a good service department, which is basically what makes or breaks a bike shop, then they can undercut you on nutrition, and they have the margin to be able to do it. Oh, this comes off, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, so you have. I mean, you could really ease up on a lot of your branding if you wanted to.
So getting a lower heel. What about the shoe wall? Heel strike. Heel strike.
Yeah, you know, after I've been thinking about everything, I think that what our goal is we create a plan with goals, and then we actually track sales against those things, and so we start implementing it, and then we measure the results, and we change if we're wrong, right? And we redirect the course. My thought is that I don't think we need to overhaul everything. My thought is that that's okay where it is. But we'll know a lot more when we put something like women's apparel here and train the staff off of the shoot floor to be able to do it. And that really is the basis of my thinking, is that if we're sitting here fitting a customer for shoes, I think, and that then would have to be some type of apparel, I think just it's a little bit harder
To look at
for,
stuff,
well, yeah, and the wall is a big deal, right? And if the shoes are there, that wall, this becomes a really, really important wall. Now you probably put women's there, but then the customer can't see both, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting, if they're sitting this way over there, they could see both. But the way this works, you need to be a little creative in terms of which direction you put your men and women, which is, there's some art form there, but I think in general you have better visibility of the entire space.
Did you hear him say face our benches this way versus that way? Because they're looking at the shoes, which they're already buying. So you turn them this way. So now they're trying the shoes, but they're looking at other things.
So they're perpendicular to the. Does it make sense?
And
It does.
create a little bit more
Now, we
space,
have a
probably.
huge problem with seating room on benches. One thing I liked about Naperville is they have 2 really long benches, space in the middle for kids to play, and then there's all kinds of room to sit. So would you just get more benches and just do like
So you can do,
6 of them?
You can do 3. So you can use the same length of a bench.
Yeah.
And 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. It basically allows you to add your space.
I mean,
add
that still won't be enough. Is there a nice way if we did a longer? I mean, would that be doable, do you think? Because there's times where we're pulling out 4, 5, 6 chairs because those are all full to do fittings.
So, in a realistic
Like on a
scenario,
Saturday. Yeah.
how many people on that far bench right
Yeah.
there? How many people do you fit on that bench?
3-ish.
You think you can get 3
It's. I mean, it's.
people
It's.
sitting on a bench.
We have to sometimes.
on the 2 bench?
On the 2 bench, there's 3. It's comfortable to have 1 on each one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll squish them.
Okay.
And it's not often, I wouldn't say. But when it's on a Saturday and we're, doing 8 to 10,
Yeah.
11
Well, if
analysis.
they made a little bit more room up there too, couldn't you maybe put a bench?
Well,
It's not very symmetrical, but is that a problem? Okay.
You'll be okay. I think there's, if there's room to push these probably
Yeah.
back a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, your sales shoes aren't there all the time, right? And we're talking about trying to remove the fixture from there anyways. The rolling rack is, by definition, a rolling rack, so we can move that.
Mm-hmm.
Could you get 4, which would basically double your seating?
Yeah.
Maybe. But I would. You're talking about doing.
You'd have to do back to back then, huh? I guess you could do 4 if you did them like 6 inches apart and the customers face the opposite directions.
Well, because you could do 3 and the customer could face whichever direction they want. That was, but I think you, I don't know, it depends on how much space you would put over there. If you had the customer's back in the wall and you still had an aisle.
Yeah, you know, if you're only going to get, you're only going to get one, maybe two on here anyway, right?
Yeah.
So if you put just one bench here, you might get one, and then you might get another one sitting here facing that way.
So you guys mentioned the tea thing. I didn't. Is that you talked about that earlier? He just mentioned tea.
Okay, something. The heel's rolled up on it.
So we know that you're not just cycling.
Is that what you're feeling?
So if you start with a bench, basically you pull the bench kind of right off of this slat here. And it's started, there's still enough room to walk through here. And this was one. We pushed this back a little bit. Don't you think, and they're only 24 inches wide.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do your second bench right here without much difficulty. And couldn't you do two more just like that on the other side? That doubles your seating.
Yeah, because really, if you had somebody facing this way, it's much more likely for somebody to sit here and face that way than for them to sit right here if they don't know each other.
Well, that's
what they do.
That's what he said. 3. I would think that.
Yeah,
This would
that's
be
what
the
they do.
other. Yeah, but this is working right now. But
Yeah.
it could.
Yeah.
And how often are you using these?
Oh, they're horrible. We use them a lot because I don't know. We use them a lot, but we want to get the Brooks ones.
Isn't that a good looking shoe right there?
Yes.
That's not bad. You got a little space.
It's their most popular shoe right now.
How's the width?
That's cadence, right?
Flow.
Flow.
Well, they stretch out a little bit. Like I said, a little bit, guys.
Light.
Squishy.
And light.
When he goes through the top of the field.
I will rest
Well,
my
she does actually have those.
Has the Flow always been your number one seller?
We've only had it 2 months, 3 months, I guess, when it
No,
came
I
out.
mean, of the Pure project, did Flow start out as your best seller from the start? Because the cadence is Brooks' best seller overall.
Is it? We're price sensitive here. And part of that is we bring out, I think we probably bring it out more than the cadence. Because we didn't have the cadence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, for some people, unneeded. And then to justify spending $30 extra. And, they're going to ask, well, is it going to hold up any longer? What do you tell them? Yeah.
Yeah, I said, I asked Rob, my rep, what's the difference between this and that? He said, well, this one has more of a medial flare. That's all he
Stan
said.
is your rep?
Rob Wistran, yep.
Do you know her? Okay, well, you do.
Yeah. I enjoy Rob. He's not your prototypical rep.
No, he is not. He is not.
There have been times that I'm like, is he too intellectual for his own good? I'm just not sure about that.
Yeah.
We didn't even originally bring in the cadence.
Oh, okay.
That's true. That was
We
also.
had to connect it first, and then we replaced it with the cadence.
Well, I was talking with the Brooks guys, and they were saying that the cadence was number one. It was a surprise to everybody. They did not forecast it that way, and we go, why? Why do you think? They go, color. Then people felt it was the best looking shoe. Yeah, which I thought was, and that's different conversation, but that is the phenomenon. That is, I mean, there's a store out of Atlanta that's selling like 300 pairs of Newtons a month. That guy, it's all fashion. It's all fashion. It's like Newton's store of the year, and he's not even selling it based on biomechanics. So, okay, I wanna jump into inventory.
Okay, it's ready.
Were you able to get
It's ready.
the dashboard going?
Now, I don't have payroll information.
Because we're not worrying about that
Okay,
today.
and I don't have the retail. Maybe you can help me find the retail valuation.
Yeah, so Amy, can you pull up your laptop?
It'll take me a second to make a. You want retail value on all of those?
I want your total retail